It's August 27th, 2020, and I'm in Altoona, Pennsylvania, the heart of Norfolk Southern's busy Pittsburgh line. This is Alto Tower. Beginning service in 1915, this tower controlled the tracks in Altoona for 97 years until 2012, when it was abandoned. There has been talk of demolishing Alto for the past few years, but as of now, its future is still uncertain. Until the point when the city decides to get rid of it, it'll serve as a sign that Altoona was built on the railroad. To the left is the Cove Secondary, a branch line that goes down to Curry Rail in Hollidaysburg. To the right is the Pittsburgh line. We're looking west. Here's Intermodal 25Z, domestic stacks to Chicago. Bringing up the rear of 25Z is a helper set. For a very long time, Norfolk Southern has used rebuilt SD50s known as SD40Es to help trains through the Alleghenies, but recently, the railroad phased out the SD40Es and entered them into regular service across the system. Taking their place was a bunch of HelperLink converted SD70 ACUs. Personally, I prefer them to the 40Es because they're reminiscent of the SD80s that used to rule the Pittsburgh line. After Alto, I headed to Juniata, Norfolk Southern's massive locomotive shop complex, which is now one of the largest in the country. Here's O4T, Amtrak's eastbound Pennsylvania and bound for Philadelphia and eventually New York. We're just west of Altoona at the 7th Street Bridge. After a quick drive east, we're looking down at Juniata. Here's yellow SD70 ACC number 1801, whose identical twin we'll see later today. Further east is the turntable, which has recently been replaced a few years ago. Now that we've done some exploring, let's head to one spot and set up for the afternoon. We're at Brickyard, surprisingly the only grade crossing in the entire city of Altoona. Located between Alto and Horseshoe Curve, this crossing is a popular rail fang spot, and it's the only place you're guaranteed to hear train horns. Here's 12G, an eastbound manifest to Enola. This one has regular power on the head end. In the middle is an SD70 ACE DPU. At the end is a helper set, which for some reason uncoupled from the train as it was moving. I'm pretty sure this is not something crews are supposed to do, but I'm not going to question it. Leading 12G's helper is 63V, westbound trash loads from New Jersey. 62 and 63V are famous in the Northeast for being some of the worst smelling trains you can catch, so if you ever hear one of these symbols in the scanner, make sure to plug your nose. I feel bad for the crew in the helper set. while later 21J westbound domestic stacks passes with an SD70 ACC second, which is always cool to see. Finally, the last train is 590, an eastbound coal drag from Sheer Oaks. Second out is yellow SD70 ACC number 1800, passing under some dark and stormy skies. With severe storms on the way, we headed home. The next day, we're back out at Horseshoe Curve, the iconic National Historic Landmark just west of Altoona. At Horseshoe Curve is PRR 7048, an ex-Colonial GP9 on display, and a virtual railfan rail cam. Here's 21G emerging from the woods. 21G is domestic and foreign stacks bound for the BNSF in Chicago. From there, the stacks will be taken to California. One of the many cool things about the curve is that both sides of the train can be viewed here. Bringing up the rear of 21G is an ACU helper set. Just west of the curve, 21G's helpers meet 592, an eastbound coal drag. Leading 592 is a brand new AC44 C6M with a P5 and a burnt-up Dash 9. These cars are full of bituminous coal from Bailey Mine in Graysville, Pennsylvania to Baltimore, Maryland. .592's helper set has a friendly crew and an awesome P3. After 592, more severe storms forced us to evacuate Horseshoe Curve and take cover. We got lunch and did some other stuff in the area until the train I had been waiting for all day was getting close. Here we are at Altoona Station overpass, leading from the street to the Railroaders Museum. Here's the tail end of CB10, which I just missed. Minutes later, 21E showed up with the Norfolk Southern Original Paint Heritage Unit trailing second. Here's 21E passing through downtown Altoona with domestic double stacks. On the end is a solo ACU helper. This concludes my trip to Altoona. Although we basically got rained out both days, I still got some pretty decent catches.